Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday to you. Today we read from the Gospel of Matthew chapter 17, and it's the story of Jesus and Peter and so forth. And they're entering the town, and the question is asked of Jesus, do you pay the temple tax? Now, this is not the Roman tax. This is not the civil tax. This is the tax that's paid to the temple. And the normal tax would be any man who is over the age of 21 would be required to pay half a shekel. And that was just a standard amount, and that's what it was, just to cover the costs of the running of the temple and keep the things going. And so they came along and said, do you pay money to the temple? Do you pay the temple tax? Now, Jesus could very easily have sort of taken the attitude of that he's God's son, so therefore he shouldn't have to pay temple tax. He should be exempt from that one, because ultimately he'd be paying tax to himself. But that wasn't the approach. He didn't analyze it in that way, and he said, rather take the more courteous route and give the example of obedience and loyalty to God by ensuring that the tax was paid. But just to make the situation a little more interesting, he said to Peter, go and catch a fish. Well, Peter was a fisherman, he knew how to do this. He said, catch a fish, and when the fish comes out of the water, open his mouth, and inside you will find 1 shekel. The interesting thing about that is that what he is effectively saying is that 1 shekel would pay the temple tax for both Jesus and for Peter. Obviously saying that there was a brotherhood that he was indicating there, but clearly also indicating a miracle of all the fish that Peter could have caught, and the fish was still alive, that there was a shekel in its mouth. That wasn't just a tale, that was, if you like, an anecdote, something that happened. So the message for us also is that there are times when we need to contribute. And it's fine to sort of saying, well, I've got enough credits already, I don't need to contribute anything. But ultimately, we're all in a situation where there are needs, and therefore we have a responsibility to provide for those needs. And in just the way Jesus said, well, even though he's God, still pays his taxes. And even though we might be good Christians or poor Christians, we still need to contribute. This is not a speech about finances, please. That's not where I'm going. But it's just a question of belonging. And if we are members of a brotherhood, as Peter and Jesus were, then we need to sometimes exercise that in a realistic way. You have a wonderful day and keep yourself safe. We'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.